Good evening class. In last video we have started a new chapter which is totally based on fungi. Okay, so in fungi we have seen their natures and their distribution and their habitat where fungi are generally found. Okay, so before starting the video I am giving you one questions and you all have to give me your answer after the completion of my class. The question is that how the fungi are distributed and which type of special name has been given on the basis of their habitat. Like fungi are found in a cow dung, so it means there is a special name for those type of fungi are found in air, fungi are found on walls, and different types fungi are generally found. So you all have to give me a exact answers which I have already taught in a last video. Okay, this is your first homework. So next we have to discuss that after the completion of habitat we are going to discuss the different structures of fungi. Generally we know the fungi are well equipped and they are the ubiquitous organism. Okay, ubiquitous organism means they are found in most of the places. Okay, including water, including air, including atmosphere, including different types of climates fungi may be found. But today we have to see the exact structures of vegetative reproduction. So the first one is vegetative structures are fungi are generally unicellular. In last video I have already told you what is the meaning of unicellular. Uni means one, okay, and cellular means single cell. Okay, so those organisms which are generally made up of single cell are called unicellars, and unicellular organisms are generally what which is related to the thallus of fungi. Okay, why? Because the most important and beneficial part for fungi is the thallus. Thallus सबसे important part होता है किसी भी fungi का, because it is made up of one cell. An example we are taking here yeast. Okay, yeast है, and several more examples is also given in your book. So unicellular means several types of fungi are made up of single type of cells are called unicellular. Example is yeast, and most important part only thallus part is used to complete reproduction cycle. इनमें सिर्फ thallus part जो होता है वही इनके reproduction cycle को आगे बढ़ाता है. It means they have great potency to complete whole the life cycle throughout the fungi. And most important part is that only some of the parts of thallus are play an important role for reproductive cycle and rest are in a place of vegetative. ठीक है, जो बाकी का बचा कुचा पास होता है वो आपके vegetative phase में आते हैं. So here reproductive phase is only complete by thallus formation, and fungi का सबसे important part thallus होता है. And thallus I already told you that thallus is a broad portion which is provide strength and mechanism metabolism to the fungi. Okay, so most important point we have to discuss that. Now today we have to discuss some more interesting topic, that is some fungi have different types of reproductive and vegetative phase. Okay, we know that several types of fungi are there, but some of the fungi are generally have different reproductive system and different vegetative system. It means that fungi have two different types of life cycle, whether they are complete life cycle on the basis of their reproductive mode, and second they complete way on a mode of vegetative. क्योंकि हमने reproductive mode भी देखा है और vegetative propagation में भी हमने reproduction को देखा है, जिसमें एक organism अपनी जनसंख्या को कैसे capable होती है कि उसको generation by generation include कर सके. So here we have to discuss that. So next here we have to discuss that due to the nature of reproductive and vegetative phase, they are also called eukarpic. Okay, fungi is also called as eukarpic because some of the fungi has both the types of reproductive phase, whether it is reproductive on self and vegetative mode में भी ये reproductive कर सकते हैं. So most important part we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss the filamentous part. Okay, what is the meaning of filamentous? I already told you that we have discussed cilia and flagella. Okay, but here filamentous is a generally word related to flagella. Okay, flagella filamentous is a long straight like structures like this, and these are called filamentous. We have seen in a plants. ठीक है, filaments होते हैं पौधे में, तो हमने देखा वहाँ पे filaments कैसे होते हैं. तो filament is a composed of long threads. Long threads means it is a long thread, लंबे होते हैं, and they are filamentous like structure. Filamentous मतलब long thread like ट्यूब होता है जो filamentous कहलाता है. Mostly fungi may be comparison as a structure of filamentous. Okay, so apart from that these filamentous structures are called hyphae. ठीक है, इन्हीं filamentous structures को हम hyphae के नाम से जानते हैं. And what is the meaning of hyphae? Hyphae is a word which is related to Greek, which means web. Web मतलब होता है जैसे हमने देखा है वेब इस टाइप का, ठीक है, ये दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ वेब, ठीक है, ये जो एक दूसरे में गुथा होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड द वेब लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स दैट मेक्स बाय स्पाइडर, जो स्पाइडर के द्वारा जैसा वेब बनाया जाता है ऐसा ही स्ट्रक्चर्स होता है hyphae का, सेम एज इट इज, अभी हम डिस्कस करेंगे उसको. नाउ नेक्स्ट, thallus of fungi is called mycelium. Most important point, some of the times questions ask that what is the meaning of mycelium? Mycelium means it is a word which is similar with the fungi of thallus. जो thallus होता है fungi का, उसी वर्ड को हम लोग mycelium के नाम से जानते हैं. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. एंड द hyphae की बात करते हैं, इट मीन्स वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द mycelial sheath. जो mycelial sheath होती है fungi की, वो कलरलेस होती है. कलरलेस मीन्स इट इज totally colorless, ठीक है, but due to the presence of food materials, in several types of fungi, it appeared as a colored pigment, ठीक है, वो colored pigment में दिखाई देते हैं. That is the most important part. Due to the storage of food materials in fungi, several types of fungi appeared as a color, ठीक है, ध्यान रखिएगा, most important point. And depending upon the nature of filamentous, fungi are divided into two parts. First is aseptate and second is septate. I already told you what is the meaning of septate and aseptate. You have to revise your previous video which I already taught these two type of topics. Okay, so next we are going to discuss the structures formed by hyphae. Generally we have started the filamentous and now we are going to discuss how the filamentous are provide beneficial role to make different types of structures. The first structure we are going to discuss is that rhizomorph. Rhizomorph means several types of fungi are able to form coiled-like structures, and coiled-like may be present on the root of the several types of plants. That time they appears as a coiled form. बहुत सारे ऐसे फंजाई जो होते हैं जो coiled form में होते हैं और जो जनरली बहुत सारे पौधों के roots में settled होते हैं, that is called the rhizomorph. And second, sclerotium. Sclerotium is a long round structures and cushions like structure as we have seen in a pillow, ठीक है. So most important point is that sclerotium is a cushion like structures which are present in a several types of atmospheres of fungi, and they provide all the nutritional or the requirement of their reproductive phase completely by doing that type of structure. यही structures इनको सबसे important बनाता है. That's why they are divided into different parts. Rhizomorph का सबसे important structure coiled है. स्क्लेरोटियम का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रक्चर कुशन लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स है. यही स्ट्रक्चर्स इनको सबसे बेनिफिशियल और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट और सबसे डिफरेंट बनाते हैं, ठीक है. सो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस दैट prosenchyma. Okay, prosenchyma we have seen in sclerenchyma, parenchyma. Here it is prosenchyma. Prosenchyma means the loosely packed or woven like parallels to each other. So loosely woven like fungi are generally sometimes appears on the different types of atmosphere. They are called the prosenchyma. Okay, generally they are parallel to each other. So in this video we have discussed the unicellular of that filamentous and non-filamentous, and we have also discussed the aseptate and septate on the basis of their hyphae. Now next we are going to discuss the several types of nutritions things in the fungi, and after that we will also discuss today the reproductive mode of fungi. Actually the reproductive mode of fungi are generally different thing, but it is related to as a fragmentations, binary fission, budding and odium. Odium is a new thing which you will study today. So before this I have to clear it. So here we have to discuss that nutrition of fungi. Okay, after completing of vegetative structure of fungi we have to discuss the nutritions of fungi. Fungi में कितने प्रकार के nutritions होते हैं, but mostly fungi have three types of nutrition. First is parasitic, second saprophytes, and third is symbionts. Most important when the questions asked in your board exams or maybe in exams are the questions ask that what is the mode of nutrition in fungi, so you have to make special notes on only that type of fungi. You should not write on obligates and facultative. It is not an important thing, but in your syllabus book it is written, so here I am going to tell you that. So first one is that the nutrition of fungi takes place by parasites. Okay, what is the meaning of parasites? Parasite means several types of organisms which are totally dependent for taking their food material from the living cells, tissues or many more things are called parasitic organisms. Okay, and coming to the next point, parasites are two types. First is obligate parasite and second is facultative parasite. I already told you, and here comes the example of Puccinia and Pythium. In facultative में Pythium और obligate में Puccinia. I have already cleared you all the two words which I am going to underline. ठीक है, most important obligate and facultative I already told you in an aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So you all have to revise previous topic. So next point, saprophytes. What is the meaning of saprophytes? Here the saprophytes means special type of organisms, maybe fungi, which are generally dependent on taking their food materials from the dead and decaying tissues or cells or a body are called saprophytes. ऐसे ऑर्गेनिज्म जो अपने खाने को लेने के लिए जनरली दूसरे ऑर्गेनिज्म के ऊपर डिपेंड होते हैं, जैसे जो भी डेड ऑर्गेनिज्म है या डिकेइंग जो भी सबस्टेंस पड़ा हुआ है उसके ऊपर ये फीड करते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड saprophytes. मोस्टली saprophytes में भी obligate saprophytes एंड facultative saprophytes आपको देखने को मिलेगा. एग्जांपल की बात करते हैं म्यूकर एंड स्टिलेगो. स्टिलेगो इज example of facultative saprophytes. Most important, I am repeating again, saprophytes is the special type of mode of nutrition in which organisms are totally dependent on decaying cells and tissue of any other body, that is called saprophytes. Okay, most of the organisms are generally dependent on that type of eating material. Second, symbionts. I already told you what is the meaning of symbionts. Symbionts means the mutual relationship. In a last video I used to expand this term mutual relationship as lichens do. जैसा lichen करता है, lichens are generally adapted to take their food material from their beneficial part of their friends. As same, symbionts is a special type of mode of nutrition in which the organisms are totally dependent on their friend circles by which they can easily get their food. So mutual relationship is a special type of stage where most of the organisms are totally dependent to share their shelter, to share their food material, to share their reproductive stage are called symbionts. So symbionts means several types of organisms are generally generate along with their many other organisms are called symbionts organisms, and they are totally dependent for taking their food materials as their neighbor cells. ठीक है, वो अपने neighbor cells या neighbor organisms में अपने खाने को, अपने shelter को share करते हैं, that is called the symbionts. As lichen juice, जैसे lichen करता है, most beneficial example of lichen. Lichen सबसे best example है आपका. ठीक है, so after completing of that we are going to discuss that some more important functions of reproduction stage in fungi. ठीक है, हमको अब रिप्रोडक्शन स्टेज देखना है. फंजाई में रिप्रोडक्शन कितने प्रकार के होते हैं. सो फर्स्टली हियर आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू दैट देयर इज अ 3 टाइप्स ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन. 3 प्रकार का होता है. फर्स्ट इज वेजिटेटिव, ठीक है, सेकंड इज असेक्सुअल एंड थर्ड इज सेक्सुअल. ठीक है, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, देयर इज अ different types of reproduction takes place in fungi. First one is vegetative, second asexual, and third is sexual. Coming to the next point, what is the meaning of vegetative? Okay, vegetative means several types of organisms which can generate their own progeny by using their different parts of fragmented body are called vegetative reproduction. And what is the meaning of asexual? Asexual means there is a special type of organism which can produce their young ones in the form of single gamete are called asexual reproduction. And what is the meaning of sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is a special type of reproduction in which 2 types of organisms are totally dependent to fuse their gametes and to produce their young ones. Okay, that is the most important and beneficial part. You have to revise it. So we are going to discuss the first one is what is the meaning of vegetative reproduction. ठीक है, vegetative reproduction I already told you that, but there is a several types of process. The first one is fragmentations. What is the meaning of fragmentation? Generally in fungi the fragmentations are generally occurs in the mode of, suppose this is the structures of any special type of fungi. ये structures है अगर fungi का, suppose this is the structures of fungi, and if the structures of fungi are accidentally break down from any other part, suppose this is the structure of fungi, in case there is an accidentally accidentally hit or struck by any fungi, that time their fragmented parts are broken down. अगर accidentally अगर इनके parts broke होते हैं, broke होने के बाद that fragmented part are capable to produce their young ones, that is called the fragmentations. Okay, fragmentation we have seen in a many more cases. So next we are going to discuss that vegetative reproduction is also done by budding. Okay, what is the meaning of budding? Budding generally we have studied in hydra, but here we have to study in fungi. Fungi में budding कैसा होता है? Suppose this is the cell and this is the nucleus material, and here is also, and there is different types of cytoplasms there. ठीक है? But coincidentally, if there is a small granules like structures are generally appear, that is called the bud. इसी को हम क्या कहते हैं? Bud कहते हैं, and that is whole process is called as budding. Okay, in several times we have seen in potato, in several times we have seen in different types of food materials, that is called budding. budding में generally क्या होता है, कोई भी structures में जब उसके body के special and outgrowth of any other structures which are generally attached with their parent cell are called budding. After the several types of division, that budding parts break down from here and they start growing and make own cell, that is called budding. ये divide होने के बाद अपने cells खुद बनाने लगते हैं, that is called budding. Okay, now next we have to discuss some more by taking an example, binary fission. Okay, binary fission is also part of vegetative. In binary fission we know that there is a special type of cell. After the division, it took place in elongations manner, in which the nucleus is divided into two phase. Here the two phase. Okay, and after many more division, it is totally breakable and there is a cleavage in cells, and one cell is separated and second is also separated due to their cleavage. cells होते हैं, divide करते हैं, उनके बीच में cleavage होते हैं. cleavage होने के बाद cell division दोनों अलग अलग तैयार हो जाते हैं, and दो अलग प्रकार के cell divisions को ही हम क्या कहते हैं, daughter cells. and daughter cells is also called their progeny cells. इन्हें हम progeny या daughter cells कहते हैं. यानी एक cell था, सेल डिवीजन हुए, इलोंगेट होके बीच से टूट गया, और उस टूटने के बाद जो भी दो अलग अलग डॉटर सेल्स निकल के आएंगे, दे बोथ आर कैपेबल टू प्रोड्यूस देयर मोर यंग वंस. ठीक है, फिर वो 2 से 4, 4 से 8 और 8 से ऐसे धीरे धीरे बढ़ते बढ़ते जितने भी ऑर्गेनिज्म होंगे वो अपने मोड ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन को धीरे धीरे इंक्रीज करते जाएंगे. ठीक है, ओके. Now our vegetative parts are sufficient, and when the question asks in your exams what is the vegetative reproduction found in fungi, so you have to mention this. And second, I am going to give you homework. You all have to make me a special notes regarding vegetative, asexual and sexual, and this is your second homework, and after the completion of that class you all have to send me. Okay, second, asexual reproduction. Generally asexual reproduction is a special type of reproduction in which only single types of gametes is involved. Single types of gametes are involved means there is a sporangiospore, and second stage is conadia. Okay, conadia. What is the meaning of sporangiospore? Sporang means spore, and spores are generally, we know that if there is a maturity of spores are generally having, सपोज यहाँ पे स्पोर्स भरे हुए हैं. ठीक है, सपोज देयर इज अ स्पोर्स. स्पोर्स में द स्मॉल पिगमेंट लाइक स्ट्रक्चर विच इज फाउंड इन द एंथर ऑफ फ्लावर. जैसे हमने फ्लावर में एंथर के अंदर हमने देखा पॉलन सैक वगैरह होते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड द स्पोर्स. स्पोरेंजियोस्पोर. इनमें असेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन जो होता है सिंगल गैमेट से, वो सबसे पहला स्पोरेंजियोस्पोर से होते हैं, और सेकंड स्टेप होता है कोनेडिया से. ठीक है, कोनेडिया एंड स्पोरेंजियस आर सिमिलर, बट देयर इज अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ डिस्प्यूट. ओके, अब जो ये इनके अंदर जो स्पोर्स होते हैं, दैट स्पोर्स व्हेन देयर मैच्योरिटी लेवल इज टोटली कंप्लीटेड, अगर इनकी मैच्योरिटी लेवल टोटली कंप्लीट है, आफ्टर दैट दे ब्रस्ट आउट. ओके, ये मैच्योरिटी लेवल के बाद ये स्पोर्स ब्रस्ट आउट होंगे, यानी इट इज द स्पोरेंजियोस्पोर ऑफ फंजाई. ये फंजाई का पूरा डायग्राम है. आफ्टर दैट इट विल ब्रस्ट आउट. व्हेन दे ब्रस्ट आउट, देयर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ स्पोर्स आर जनरली liberated in our environment, and where it is fixed, definitely the new progeny will also develop. Okay, so that is the asexual reproduction. If the spores are burst out, generally it is liberated in a different types of soil and atmosphere, and it is able to produce their young ones. Okay, so next point is that conadia. Conadia is the most important part. Conadia is a unicellular. Okay, most important, unicellular and non-motile, but it need a special agents. कोनेडिया इज अ यूनिसेलुलर एंड नॉन मोटाइल स्पोर्स. ये यूनिसेलुलर होते हैं, मेड अप ऑफ सिंगल सेल एंड दे आर नॉन मोटाइल. दे डोंट हैव मोशंस. उनमें मोशंस नहीं होते हैं, बट दे नीड डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एजेंट्स फॉर देयर मोशन. लाइक दे नीड डोडर, दे नीड इंसेक्ट, दे नीड प्लांट्स, दे नीड वाटर, दे नीड एयर. ओके, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट चीजें इनको जरूरत पड़ती है ताकि इनका एक स्पोर जो है, सपोज हियर इज द स्पोर फॉर्मेशन. ठीक है, यहाँ पे स्पोर्स बने हुए, दैट इज द स्ट्रक्चर्स ऑफ कोनेडिया. आफ्टर द मैच्योरिटी इज आल्सो ब्रस्ट आउट. ब्रस्ट आउट होने के बाद दे आर यूनिसेलुलर, सिंगल सेल्ड, दे आर आल्सो नॉन मोटाइल, मींस दे डोंट हैव मोशंस एंड दे आर जनरली स्पोर्स इनसाइड इट. आफ्टर द मैच्योरिटी इट ब्रस्ट आउट एंड इट इज जनरली लिबरेटेड इन दैट रीजन, इन अ सॉइल रीजन, एंड दैट portions also grow. But sometimes it need different types of agents to produce and transplant their seeds or spores from one place to another. They are the pollination agents. उनको हम pollination agent के नाम से जानते हैं. So we have discussed asexual reproduction. Okay, so next we have to discuss that we are going to discuss that sexual reproduction. Okay, sexual reproduction is generally done by three types of phases. First is plasmogamy. Okay, second is karyogamy, and third is meiosis. Okay, I already told you that mitosis and meiosis. Plasmogamy, what is the meaning of actually sexual reproduction in fungi is generally takes place by three mode. Okay, first is plasmogamy, second is karyogamy, and third is meiosis. Okay, तीन प्रकार के sexual reproductions होते हैं. इनमें plasmogamy means होता है different types of two types of gametes of their protoplasm come nearer. इनकी जो न्यूक्लियाई है वो आपस में आती जरूर है, बट दे डू नॉट फ्यूज नहीं होती है. ओके, सो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म, देयर प्रोटोप्लाज्म ऑफ न्यूक्लियाई come close to each other but they do not fuse. They are called plasmogamy and they are able to produce their young ones. Okay, which type of features are generally found in which the fusion of the gametes are not takes place, in spite they are able to formation of their young ones. How is it possible? This is your third homework and you have to give me answer. Otherwise, if you are unable to find that answer, I will definitely tell you in a next class. Okay, without fusing of their gametes, because here two types of protoplasm of nuclei come close to each other but they are not fusing. वो fuse नहीं हो रहे. After that they are able to produce their young ones. How is it possible? कैसे possible? You have to give me your answer. This is your third question. Second, karyogamy. What is the meaning of karyogamy? Here karyogamy means different types of haploid cell come close to each other and they fuse and they become a two end. Here haploid, and when they come close to each other they make a diploid cell. That is the fusion of two types of gamete called karyogamy. Okay, karyo means nucleus. Here different types of haploid nucleus come close to each other and they fuse together to form a two and any diploid. This is called karyogamy. In this there's a young ones are called. ओके, यहाँ पे इनका यंग वंश जो है वो तैयार हो रहा है. द मोस्ट बेनिफिशियल पार्ट एंड दीज आर कॉल्ड द डॉटर सेल्स. इनको हम यंग वंश भी बोल सकते हैं एंड डॉटर सेल्स भी बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. सो इन थर्ड स्टेप of reproduction in fungi we have to discuss that meiosis. Okay, after completion of plasmogamy and karyogamy we have to discuss the third stage of reproduction. So in meiosis we know that there is a diploid gamete is break down by cell division and it converted into haploid gamete. Okay, so in karyogamy we have seen that the two haploid gamete makes diploid, and here in meiosis we have seen that diploid gamete converted into two haploid. So this is the third stage of sexual reproduction in fungi. So I think we have completed lots of things today. We have completed reproductions in fungi, we have completed nutritions in fungi, and we have completed vegetative structures of fungi. So after the completion of that class I am going to give you the third homework is that you all have to make a special notes on vegetative reproduction, asexual and sexual, and the types which I have taught today. You all have to make a very clearly in your fair copy and send me in my personal WhatsApp. Till then whatever I have taught you, you all have to revise it. Thank you students.